Hello everybody, I'm glad you're here today. Today is March 22nd, 2025. In this video, we're going to go over the Latvian How to Act in Case of War guide. We are going to talk about a prepper item that I have that maybe you might want to get. It's pretty practical and it's something that I kind of forget I even have it because we use it so often. So, and we're going to read out of Psalms chapter 5. We're just going to dig into the Word of God. And so those are the things we're doing in this video. I believe, in my opinion, it is a crucial time to prepare our minds, our spirit, and our physical surroundings as if war were going to come to our homeland. That is my opinion. I'm not a supporter of fear, although I experience fear. I would be lying if I didn't just confess that right now. I do from time to time. I'm human. I know my Lord has things in control, and I've come a long way, believe me, when it comes to being fearful, but I still do from time to time. And I know the Lord is in control of everything, and no matter what I do around in this physical world, the Lord has me covered perfectly. And that's wonderful because I am so imperfect. But that is what we're going to do in this video. Now then, the prepping item. Let's go with that first and foremost. When I married, I don't know, nearly 40 years ago, 30 some years ago. Is it 38 years ago? Is that where we're at? I can't remember. Anyway, when I married a long time ago, I didn't realize I was marrying into a knife family, if you know what that means. They're really into knives. And it's not all of them, especially my brother-in-laws aren't necessarily, some to some degree. My husband, absolutely. My father-in-law, yes, he was. And my son is like a knife guy. He collects them, he sharpens them, he has different sharpening utensils to help him sharpen knives. It is wonderful to have sharp knives. I didn't realize how spoiled I mean, until you go cooking in somebody else's house and you think, man, your knife it sucks, man. So but anyway, so one thing in your prepping supplies, somewhere somehow, you might want to get a knife sharpener. Now this is okay. It's an okay sharpener because I don't have a lot of arm strength, don't have a lot of wrist and hand strength. I don't know the skill of sharpening a knife like my husband and my son do. That's okay. This will get the job kind of done. It has a place for scissors as well as different widths of blades. It will be okay. Let me tell you something. If worse comes to worse, which God forbid it will not, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, having sharp blades matters. It will help you in all kinds of ways. In one way, it actually keeps you safer because you are not pressing down so hard on the knife, so that if it does slip or something, you're not pressing down as hard. The cut, whatever cut you may be getting, won't be as bad. So absolutely think about like researching, Googling different knife sharpening products and get you something like that, because you'll be glad you had it. That's kind of one of those things you wish for. If you don't have it, you're glad to have it. If you do, but you don't want to be wishing for it if you need it. So anyway, I did want to bring that to you as a prepping item you might start pursuing. I don't know who that'll resonate with, man. In my house, we've got lots of different ways to sharpen knives. I mean, I'm like, oh wow, whatever you guys need. I mean, in fact, I'd like to show you this one thing as soon as my son kind of learns how to do it. It's a motorized belt grinder kind of thing. It's pretty fantastic. I mean, it's really great. And he sharpened one of my knives that I got for my wedding, y'all. It was actually Mike's grandfather who called. I was 20 years old. He called me back in the back of the house. He said, I'm going to give you this present. And he took down this knife and he was like, don't put this in the dishwasher. Don't let this get dull. You put this on the top shelf, and when you need it, you'll have a sharp knife. And he's right, except I did start putting it in the dishwasher, and I did, and all these years later, it needed to be sharpened. But I still have it. I do still have it. Okay, now for your prepping Motivation. All right. Now, sometimes when I prep, I do long jobs, like even organizing this pantry, or like I'm fixing to start working in the backyard to everything that's happened this winter and this spring, all the wind damage and everything. I'm fixing to start working out there. And sometimes it's really nice to be listening to something that keeps you thinking, I need to be on top of my game here. Not in a pressured, frenzied kind of way, but just in an awareness, alert kind of way that's moderate, not extreme. So this I personally listen to NY Preppers nuclear preparedness videos, mainly because they go for a long time without commercials. A lot of them. I like to listen to lengthy videos so I don't have to go back to my phone and find something else to listen to. So I don't know how long this will last, but we'll read for a little bit. Maybe it'll just get you through your exercise, 20-minute exercise session. I don't know what it's going to do, but we've read this before, but I think, man, it's worth reading again. Okay, this is Latvia. There are so many countries in Europe handing out civil defense, war preparedness, nuclear attack guides. And I think that speaks volumes as to what they know is coming. And let me tell you, they know stuff we don't. They have intelligence that we don't. So I believe they got it right. They know what's coming. They're saying it. So we're going to start on page 7 of this Latvian guide, and we're going to read it and find out what you might need to do to kind of help you and what I need to do to help me. Here we go. How to prepare for war. We're on page 7. I skipped all the preface. It was like, hey, we need our civilians to be ready to defend themselves in case of anything happening. That was the preface, basically, in a nutshell. So this is page 7, how to prepare for war. It should be, and by the way, this font is like the size of a pinhead. So, and I'm basically blind, so bear with me if I can't read this very good. It should be taken into account that electricity, water, heating, and gas supplies may be interrupted as a result of hostilities. I find it interesting all the different words they use to describe when we get invaded or war is on our doorstep. Hostilities is this. Okay, so the operation of telecommunications, mobile communications, and internet services, ATMs, payment by bank cards, shops, and pharmacies may be completely or partially interrupted. Therefore, and when we see the word therefore, that's when you need to be highlighting that sentence. Therefore, make sure you have supplies of water, food, medicine, cash, and household items. More detailed information on how to do this can be found in the chapters How to Prepare Water Supplies. Oh, okay. What products to include in home supplies and medicine. So when we get to those chapters, we'll have more details. I will tell you this. When our power went out in that huge storm a week ago, Friday, a week ago yesterday, that huge dust storm that we had, and those winds that were and people died in this storm. When our power went out, because my daughter's a nurse, people kept calling her for what they needed at the pharmacy. They were like, well, I need my medicine at the pharmacy. And she's like, the pharmacy has no power. Well, how am I supposed to get my medicine? You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. Not this weekend, because the power didn't come back on until the next morning. And so for that town, it didn't. And so, what we need to realize is, sometimes we have our food, sometimes I have our water, but you need to be on top of your game when it comes to your medicines, even over the counter medicines. We knew things were going to get bad that morning. Well, I didn't know they were going to get as bad as they got, but so we did kind of go through, or do we have Tylenol? Do we have ibuprofen? Do we have cold medicines? Do we have, the medicines we need? So remember, cash registers don't work either. So you can't run to the store because they ain't going to, they're not going to let you buy food or anything on just a promise. Okay, here we go. How to prepare your residence. Okay. Make sure you have in stock at home drinking water and water for other needs, for example, for washing, dishwashing, and clothes washing. Products with long shelf life, first aid kit, flashlights, spare batteries, or accumulators thereof, candles. A gas burner with spare gas cylinders for cooking, or a stove with another type of fuel. fire extinguisher, warm blankets, sleeping bags, warm underwear in the cold season, a set of critical items in case of evacuation or moving to a shelter, like a bug out bag, alternative autonomous heat source for cases when the centralized heating system does not work, hygiene and sanitary products. For detailed information, see the section Essentials for Crisis in the updated How to Act in a Crisis booklet. So this government has put out this other alternative booklet, How to Act in Case of a Crisis. Then they came out How to Act in Case of War. Now remember, this is translated into English. So some of these sentences are going to be fragmented. Some of these sentences are going to kind of be hard for us to understand. They're not going to sound like our English grammatically correct sentences. So, but we'll still be able to glean the information. I think from this, the water for washing is fascinating. Fill up your tub. I mean, those of us who are, I never have, but I mean, I have done this actually, is when the electricity goes off, you fill up the bathtub, especially if you live out in the country, because your pump goes out on your water. And so, on your well water. So, that will help you flush your toilet, to fill up the tank in the toilet and be able to flush it at least for a little while. So, yeah, you need water for other than drinking. Okay, so remember that. I think what helped us the most was the burner for the cooking that I had when the electricity went off for those several hours. And it was getting cold. By the evening, it was like a cold front came through. And I did get a little concerned about my mom and dad, who live next door. I have a butane burner, or like what is it called? It's over here. A buddy, a Mr. Heater buddy. Is that what that is? It's upside down. So anyway, yeah, a Mr. Heater propane heater thing. Yeah, I've got one of those for them, and then I've got a big one for our house, as well as kerosene heaters. So, I wondered about cracking those out, but we managed just to cover up. I think if you could just cover up with a lot of good blankets, you can get through. It's this, where we live in the panhandle of Texas, it'll get you through pretty good. All right, next page, page 9. I don't know why it says set. Did I skip a page? I don't think so. For whatever reason, it starts in the middle of a sentence. It says, said funds should cover minimum needs for at least a 72-hour period. However, as the experience of Ukraine shows, in case of war, it would be necessary to provide water and food for the longest possible period of time. If you live in a private house, set up a simple shelter in the basement. We all know why that is. Offer help to elderly neighbors or people who cannot do it on their own. Prepare their places of residence and set up sets of critically needed items. Be prepared to support their sheltering or evacuation. So I think that's what basically they say 72 hours, but then I like it how they say, hey, but take a look at Ukraine. They've been going at this for 3 years, all right? Now, at the time when this came out, it was 2 years, but still, when I hear 72 hours, I think they're sugarcoating it so the public doesn't panic. You start with 2 weeks. Well, start with that 72 hours. That's fine. And then you need to move your prepping to 2 weeks. And then once you have 2 weeks, and just do the math. You just think, okay, I know we as a family of 4 can go through 2 cans of soup a meal. So if I have, oh y'all, I suck at math here. If I have 14 cans, that's a week of food, a week of 1 meal a day. And then if I have this much oatmeal, then that's breakfast. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 2 meals, at least 2 good meals a day is what we would be fine with. And so, of course, we have other foods that you would eat in between, protein bars or whatever to get you through. But, just you got to calculate. And as much as I hate calculating, I like to look at pretty pictures. I like to look at colors. I like to draw. I like to write. I'm an artist. We'll just call myself an artist. I don't like numbers. That's why my husband has to double check everything I do when it comes to numbers, thank goodness. But that's how I do it. And that's how I started out. I just bought cans of soup that I knew would cover at least a week of food for my family. Bloop, bloop. 2 cans, stir it up, maybe add a little minute rice. You're good. You're good. So that's survival. Then after you get that 2 weeks under your belt, then you can move on to a month. And then you just can move on to, then you can start multiplying what you have, because you kind of already have figured out this is 30 meals or this is 15 meals twice for a month of food. And then you just repeat that. Does that make sense? So I have 15 meals that are specific meals that I am ready to make and have the supplies to make. And I have enough to make a month. And then I also have a foundation underneath, that is how I visualize it, of beans and rice and pasta, dry goods. So I have a whole lot of buckets of rice. I have a whole lot of buckets of beans, like pinto beans, as just the it, that's my foundation. That's when things really get rough. I'll be busting into those and just be happy to eat beans. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Okay, so yeah, more than 72 hours, but 72 hours is a good start, gang. Okay, let's go to page 10. All right. Now, adaptation of basement or other underground spaces for shelter. I will tell you this too. The old people, you might not be able to take care of all the old people. Pick one group, one household of old people to take care of. I have dibs on my mom and dad. All the other old people in my neighborhood, I'm like, hey, you're on your own. No, and Bubby and Linda around the corner, like, hey, y'all, you gotta call Libby or somebody else, not me. But no, I'm just teasing. No, but I did think, literally, my neighbor that's single over here, and she's older, and she doesn't think ahead at all. I did think about getting her a bucket of freeze dried food for $100. I thought I'd just buy her $100 worth of food and put it in her house. Say, look, this is for you. If we're in a trouble, you start eating on this. Don't come over to my house. And I don't mean that in an ugly way. I just mean that I can't take care of everybody. I can take care of some people. I don't know if that sounds ugly. I'm sure there'll be viewers on here that'll tell me how unchristian that is. It's practical. We have to pull together and divide all of this work out, which is what we did during the pandemic. When the old people didn't get out, we all took the food to them as a community. Okay, adaptation of basement or other underground spaces for shelter needs. The best choice is a basement with a reinforced concrete cover and masonry walls. Okay? Shelves made of durable material are created along the walls, which can provide additional support for the wall, fulfill the function of a shelf as well as a bed. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Plan or create backup exit from the shelter. Create a ventilation system. Think about an independent heating system, stove or something like that. Create a smoke gas exhaust system, not forgetting about fire safety. If the basement has windows, prepare bags filled with sand or other loose materials or concrete blocks, etc., to cover them. Provide mobile stoves for food preparation. Provide yourself with drinking water containers or bottles with an estimate of 3 liters of drinking water per person, some food, and warm clothes. Provide a toilet situation. Yes, we cannot forget that, y'all. If possible, allocate space for food supplies, human accommodations, and sanitary needs. If there are small children in the family, prepare a board game or other means to occupy them. Means one or more responsible persons who will take care and maintain the availability and order of the premises. So somebody needs to be put in charge of captaining the ship of the basement ship. Okay, now here's what my takeaway with this. If you watch Jericho, the series with you know, the atomic bombs that went off across, the nuclear bombs that went all across at the same time across the nation scenario. Hawkins, the character Hawkins, is the one that is most prepared. He actually has a house with a basement, and his basement looks like this. So if you want to kind of get a visual, just you might tune into that movie. I did have to buy it on Amazon. Paramount Plus has it for free, or like if you have a subscription to Paramount. Um, it's worth a viewing, I'll tell you that. Now, also, what was it that struck me as I was reading this? Creative ventilation system. Oh yeah, the sandbags. I do have sandbags that I have just because I thought I might need them. Mainly, I bought them to go around my generator to kind of quiet it just a little bit. Not that I could disguise it completely, but yeah. So you might look at getting sandbags or dirt to fill in with dirt and just have those available. You never know. You never know. Okay, this is page 11. Let me see something. How long does this chapter go on? Okay, we'll stop right after I read this. Okay, how to prepare water supplies. Drinking water is the most essential element of survival. An adult should drink an average of 3 liters of water per day, 4 liters in hot weather. In a crisis situation, water supply disruptions can also make it difficult to access tap water as well as flushing the toilet. Calculate how many liters of drinking water you and your loved ones need to store at home so that it is enough for at least 3 days, recommended for a week. Okay? And then build on that, y'all. Then build on that. Do not forget about water for pets and other needs such as hygiene. Find out where drinking water is available in nature in the immediate vicinity, wells and springs, and how to use water purification tablets. Man, where I live, we got desert. There is no water. There is no water to go gather anywhere. Okay, try water purification tablets on a hike and evaluate the need to purchase them for storage. That is a good idea, actually, to try your preps before it becomes an emergency. That is true. Okay, we'll stop right there. We'll go right to the next one next time. I hope that's helpful. Man, if you have comments and tips to leave in the comment section. Y'all are the rock stars of this channel. I kid you not. And the way you responded to Taylor's dream, that the video I posted yesterday, has been remarkable. I have learned, you have helped clarify some things for me. And those of you who are wondering about the elements, and go read through the comments. You'll glean a whole lot of information and just filter through the Holy Spirit what resonates and what doesn't. All right, let's go with some encouragement for the end of this video from Psalms chapter 5. Oh, I read this morning. I was like, oh, Lord, thank you. This is perfect. This is exactly what I needed today. Oh, Lord, hear me as I pray. Pay attention to my groaning. Listen to my cry for help, my King and my God, for I pray to no one but you. Listen to my voice in the morning, Lord. Each morning I bring my request to you and wait expectantly. O God, you take no pleasure in wickedness. You cannot tolerate the sins of the wicked. Therefore the proud may not stand in your presence. For you hate all who do evil. You will destroy those who tell lies. The Lord detests murderers and deceivers. Because of your unfailing love, I can enter your house. I will worship at your temple with deepest awe. Lead me in the right path, O Lord, or my enemies will conquer me. Make your way plain to me to follow. My enemies cannot speak a truthful word. Their deepest desire is to destroy others. Their talk is foul, like a stench from an open grave. Their tongues are filled with flattery. O God, declare them guilty. Let them be caught in their own traps. Drive them away because of their many sins, for they have rebelled against you. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. That's us, gang. Let them sing joyful praises forever. Spread your protection over them, that all who love your name may be filled with joy. For you bless the godly, O Lord. You surround them with your shield of love. So as we go forward here today, y'all, just see the shield of love around you that comes from Father above. I am going to be making the How to Become a Christian video. It's going to be very basic and straightforward. It's not going to go into a lot of depth. It's going to be just pretty much, boom, just information. And then I don't know what else to do. That's all I got. That's all I got. I'm just going to try to follow the Lord in that regard and just put it out there. So I think that's it today. I'm looking forward to reading some more out of the Latvian How to Act in Case of War. In fact, I kind of like that title. How do you act? Man, you got to act this way. Anyway, all right. Stay safe, America. From the pantry, this is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.